Hello, my name is Greg Simpson. I'm the minister at St. Andrew's United Church in downtown Chatham, Ontario. And this is such a blessing to get to work with you on some vision, some dreaming, looking at who we are as church currently, wondering about what it is that God is calling us into. So you are in part of a series that I'm putting together of things that I have learned either practically or things that I have read or things that I have heard from other churches, from other successful stories or maybe unsuccessful stories that we all can learn from. I'm going to start with a little bit of, shall we call it required reading, or just some strong suggestions. A lot of what I'm going to be discussing today is going to come from fishing tips. So this book right here by the Reverend Dr. John Pentland, I have had the blessing of meeting John in several different times. He was actually part of my education when I was in seminary. I've also, we invited him to Chatham to do some conversation, as well as we as a church have actually looked very deeply into his book. So there are two main points that I'm going to pull that are even using the titles of his chapters. So that's fair warning. Another one I want to recommend to you is Not Your Parents' Offering Plate. It is a really great conversation about giving in churches that takes a much more modern look at who gives, why they give, when they give, and the ways that we as churches can see ourselves as doing ministry by providing people an opportunity to give. I think sometimes, and I'll admit that for me, it becomes a struggle when I think about stewardship because it feels like we're just begging or always asking. And it seems that the stewardship conversation gets a lot louder or more urgent when there's maybe a boiler to repair or there's a leaky roof or that sort of thing. But if we can find our way to recognize that there are people desiring to do good in the world. There are people wanting to leave a legacy. There are people who want to be certain that the money and resources that they have accumulated will be put to good purpose. That can really help us shift our thinking. So this is one book that helps with that. And actually, I'm going to show another one. So this is the book Loonie, written by John Van Duzer. I was very blessed to spend some time with John in the Licensed Lay Worship Leader program quite a few years ago now. Wonderful person. And his book, I'll hold that up again, Loonie, Crazy Talk About Faith and Finances. Definitely take a look at to see if you can find that. So another minister within the United Church of Canada who's written a spectacular book is Brad Morrison, and the book Already Missional. And so I'm going to borrow lots from those books and from lots of other resources. If you want to do a little more reading, a space where you can get really deep into things is taking a look at Kerry Newhoff. He's a minister just outside of Barrie, Ontario. Although sometimes I find that I diverge from him in some theological ways. His conversations about leadership in church today there's a lot of wealth to be drawn from them. Another church leader who I pay a lot of attention to is Brady Shearer, who is the founder, I think co-founder of Pro Church Tools. He has a lot of conversation, especially about how church connects with younger people today. I just want to share with you those resources right off the top because I will be borrowing from lots of their wisdom and lots of other reading, and I don't always do a good job of remembering what I read where or what piece of information comes from where. So I can't always credit my sources, and I feel badly about that. So I'll start right up front by saying that those are some of the most common sources that I source these things from. So, with that being a bit of a long-winded introduction, and if what you need to do is stop right now and go read all those books and connect with those leaders and listen to some of the things they have to say, you can find podcasts, you can find YouTube videos, you can find blogs, lots of content. Maybe what you need to do is take a pause, go read, consume, collect up some of that, and you can come back and jump into session 1, which is titled, Let Leaders Lead.